Hey guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So today we'll be talking about all the books that I purchased or received or saved on SCRIBD in the month of October. So don't mind the hair right now. I have my lifeguard course in the morning, so there's really no point in me washing my hair and then getting it covered in chlorine and then have to wash it again. So I just have a hat on and I don't care. So let's just jump straight into it. So I'll start with physical books. So the first two are actually damaged and I am still waiting to hear back from Target. It has been over a week to see if they're going to do anything about it, because literally the packaging, like these are two special editions. One of them is an illustrated edition, one is a like collector's edition, and they were literally just thrown in a box with a few of those air bubble things on top. Like that was it. So, you know, shit packaging. So first one is Quidditch Through the Ages. This is the illustrated edition and it has, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's damage on the corners because it was just getting bashed around. This one's got like minimal damage, but I'm still annoyed because like package the books properly, it's not that hard. And then the second one is the Mina Lima edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and this one has damage on the corners, also there. Hopefully I'll hear back from them, otherwise I'll be putting in a request through PayPal if they can't be bothered fucking replying to me. So anyways, but yeah, I got this one. I will probably be showing these in a future haul though, when I actually get not damaged copies. So those quickly. So next we have the book that came in the October OwlCrate, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. It is opposite colors, so on the original cover this here is like dark blue and this here is like dark red, whereas obviously this is blue and this is red. And it also has, it is signed, but it also has artwork under the dust jacket. It also has that on the naked hardcover too. I'm not sure if the original has that. I haven't seen the original one, but that's like that. And then this is the artwork under the dust jacket. So Legendborn actually sounds so freaking interesting. Basically, this girl's mother dies and she basically runs away and doesn't want anything to do with her family home or anything, and then she discovers magic through going to this new, it's like a university or something, and she discovers that her mother's death might not have gone as they thought it did and there might be magic involved. So she is hunting for the truth, and to do that she infiltrates the Legendborns, which is like a secret society type thing, and chaos ensues, I guess. I don't know, but it sounds really interesting. And there was also in the synopsis, it says, but when the Legendborn reveals themselves as descendants of King Arthur's knights and explain that a magic war is coming. King Arthur? Okay, righto, that's random. I'm intrigued. I'm very interested. This one is also on the My Goodreads Choice Award challenge. I think this video will be out before the reading vlog comes up, but basically I am challenging myself to try and read as many of the books in the YA fantasy sci-fi category on the Goodreads Choice Awards, and actually doing, you know, at the end of the year, doing a Goodreads Choice Awards for that category to see which one I actually recommend, because at the moment I've only read two of them, Fable and All the Stars and Teeth. At the moment Fable is my favorite because, you know, out of the two that I've read, it was amazing. But yeah, I want to read as many as I can, and this is one of them. So hopefully we'll be reading this in November or December. Next we have Dear Justice by Nick Stone. This is the second book to Dear Martin. So I read Dear Martin, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I loved it. So I was super excited when the author announced that she was writing this one, Dear Justice, and I'm super keen to read it. It is super short, so hopefully I'll be able to get to it soon. I was kind of prioritizing different books in October because, you know, spooky season, whatever. But yeah, I definitely want to get to this one, but it'll just depend if I have time, because like I said, with the Goodreads Choice Awards reading challenge thing that I'm doing, there is a few books on there. So it'll just depend if I have time, otherwise this one will have to wait for the new year, but I am super keen to read it. Next we have another one that came damaged. This one I am getting a replacement copy of from Book Depository. They said it's on its way, so, you know, once that arrives then I'll swap them out. But I did get Kingdom of Sea and Stone by Mara Rutherford. This is the sequel to Crown of Coral and Pearl, had a mind blank then, which I read last year I believe and loved it. It was so freaking good, and I read that one as an e-arc and ended up purchasing my own copy, and I just loved it so much. So I am super keen to see where this is going to go. So I won't talk about what Kingdom of Sea and Stone is about because it's a sequel, but Crown of Coral and Pearl is about these two sisters that live on this, it's not even really an island, it's basically like a village on top of the water. Like the houses just sit on top of the water, which is a really fascinating concept, but anyways. But in this town, the prettiest girl gets chosen to marry the prince, and it was meant to be her sister until she has an accident, and the twin gets sent in her place disguised as her sister. And she has to then try and navigate this political bullshit and find out what the hell is going on in this castle, because nothing is normal. And yeah, it's just really cool. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what happens in Kingdom of Sea and Stone. Next, moving on to paperbacks, we have The Lefthanded Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. I honestly know nothing about this besides, like, it says authorized to kill and sell books. Yep, I don't really know much besides, yeah, like I read the synopsis once, but that was a while ago. But it's like something about like a secret society of booksellers that are also like assassins or some shit. I have no idea, but I am intrigued. And I don't think I want to know more. Like, I just want to know that, and I'm just going to jump straight in, basically. I am really intrigued about this one. Obviously, there's amazing things about Garth Nix around there. I don't know. I don't even know if I've read anything by Garth Nix. And if I have, it's probably only one book. I'm not even sure. But I'll put it on the screen if I have or not. I just honestly don't know. But I am really intrigued. This cover looks really interesting. The title just, like, sells it. I'm confused. But I'm intrigued, so I'm keen. Next we have The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This one is Stuart Turton's second book, I believe. I read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and loved it so much. Just the concept, like, it is basically it's a murder mystery, but the person who is trying to solve this mystery each day wakes up in the body of someone else that was at the party where this girl died. He doesn't know who he's gonna end up in the next day. He doesn't know who to trust, and it's just really fascinating. But this one here, I believe that they're on a ship, and I did start reading this one, but the audiobook, I don't think the audiobook's it. I think this one's definitely one I'm gonna have to read, but it's also huge. But yeah, basically they're on this ship. It is set in 1634, and this detective is getting transported to Amsterdam to face trial and execution for a crime he may or not have committed, and our main character is trying to prove that he didn't do it, but there could be like paranormal shit involved on this ship. That's all I know, and I'm very curious. But like I said, I tried listening to the audiobook, but I just couldn't get into the audiobook, so this might be one I have to pick up. But hopefully I enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, because that one was fucking amazing. So lastly, for paperbacks, we have None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marnie. This one is a YA thriller, and it follows these two kids who are basically, or two teens, who are like recruited to help these detectives in catching a serial killer. But like literally the last line, it says, can Emma and Travis stop a serial killer on the loose, or will they fall victims themselves? So yeah, this sounds like it's like a little bit of psychological maybe going on in here, but it's definitely a thriller. It's a relatively short book. It's like 400 pages, but the text is huge, so should be a quick read. I love thrillers, I love mysteries, so I'm intrigued. And this cover just gives you like old school like thriller or horror vibes, really. Thriller horror, like this cover. So now moving on to books that I purchased on Audible this month. Firstly, we have The Silence of Bones by June Her, which I actually read in October. So this one basically follows this girl. It's set in, is it 1800s Korea? I think it's 1800s, but it's set in Korea, and it follows this girl who is part of an investigative team because in this day and age, in this culture, the men are not allowed to touch the women, even if they're dead. I don't even think they're allowed to interrogate them because they usually get her to do it. But yeah, this main character is the one that deals with the bodies, and she's also the one that has to help them interrogate women and stuff. And there's this murder of, well, they think it's a murder of this like high class lady, and they're trying to figure out, you know, who did it. And yeah, it's really fascinating, and I just loved learning about the culture as well, so definitely recommend this one. So the next one I picked up on Audible is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. I honestly know nothing about this book besides the fact that it's a Cinderella retelling, and it's a dark Cinderella retelling. I don't know if I've even read the synopsis, but if I have, I honestly don't remember it. But I'm just keen to give it a go. It is, I do actually own it physically, so whether I listen to it on audiobook or read it physically, I don't know. I have options, but I did pick that one up on Audible. Next on Audible, we have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is another one that I picked up and read in the month of October, and I'll leave my review for this one linked down below because I have already reviewed it. So this one follows this girl who's just minding her own business going to school until this bloke turns up and basically tells her that she is part of this old dude's inheritance and she needs to come and be there when they read the will because they can't read the will without her. Doesn't know who this dude is, doesn't know who the guy is who left her the money, and basically it's a mystery trying to find out, does she actually know them? Is there a connection? Why did he leave her this money? And I feel like at the end of this one it's still like, you're kind of like, is that the reason why? Like you're kind of like, is it really? But it kind of doesn't make sense, so it could be another reason. So I'm keen for book 2 because this is a duology from what I can tell so far. But yeah, definitely recommend this one. The audiobook is also really well done. I love the narrator in this one. It just made it even better. So next on Audible, I picked up Memento by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I have mentioned this a couple times already, but basically Memento was a pre-order incentive. It's like a little tiny short story based in the world of the Illuminae files, and it was released as a pre-order incentive for the book Obsidio. I believe it was Obsidio. I don't think it was Gemini. I think it was the last book. But it was only available in the US, so if you had friends in the US, cool, they can ship it to you. But if you didn't, stiff shit. So really didn't like that, but anyways, but they finally made it available on ebook and also audiobook. So I grabbed the audiobook and I also grabbed the ebook. I might as well talk about that now. I think it was like $2.99, and I also grabbed it on Audible because I wanted to flip through while listening to the audiobook, so I got both. But yeah, so I picked up Memento. It is basically the story of Aiden leading up to the events of Illuminae. So next I picked up Mexican Gothic by Sylvia, what is her name? I can never remember it. Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This one follows a girl. I feel like the fucking main characters on all these are females. Is it just me? Like, I know we always promote like to read books about females and by female authors, but literally like 75, actually probably more than 75% of the books that I read are by female authors and about female characters. It's hard to find YA with male main characters. Does anyone else feel that way? Because I do. Especially the popular ones, they're generally female characters. Anyways, off topic. So in Mexican Gothic, we follow this girl who her father receives a letter from her cousin, and it's basically a distress letter, and he is worried, so he sends the daughter to stay with the cousin to find out what is going on, and she's not well, and she's like hearing voices and stuff. So basically she's trying to figure out what is going on. And that's about all that I can tell you because the rest of it's just mystery. I don't know. It's weird. I did talk about this one in my wrap up, so go and check that out if you want to know my thoughts on this one because it's odd. Okay, so for the books that I saved on SCRIBD, I'm going to go through this really quickly and just say the names because they're all graphic novels. I basically don't know anything about any of them because like they're graphic novels, I kind of don't want to know much because like they're that big anyway. And I just basically went through and was looking at recommendations, and I saved these in the hopes of reading them during Graphics-a-thon. And I still might read some of these, some of them maybe not, we'll see. But just going through them quickly, I saved By Night by John Allison, Ghosted in LA by Sina Grace. I'm also only reading like the first author's name because I can't actually see the rest on SCRIBD. Pandora's Legacy by Cara Leopard. I did actually read this one already. Slam by Pamela Ryburn. Hexvet, Witches in Training by Sam Davies. That is all the books I saved on SCRIBD. So usually I save like a shit ton, but this month just wasn't doing it. I was basically using SCRIBD for graphic novels for Graphics-a-thon, and that was it. So I purchased 2 books on Apple Books, one of which was Queen of Vaults by Amanda Foody, which I do actually own a copy of and I'm currently reading, but I purchased the ebook so that way I can, you know, read when I'm going to sleep and stuff. It is a long book and I want to be able to read literally any time I can because it is huge and I want to get through it. So yeah, I purchased the ebook for that one. I also purchased the ebook for Frankenstein Junji Ito story collection. It is a short story collection, which the first story is Frankenstein. If you didn't know, Junji Ito is a Japanese horror manga writer, so this is a Japanese horror manga. And like I said, short story. There's like the Frankenstein story, and then there's 6 stories based on this one world, which is like the Tales of Oshikiri or some shit. And then there's 2 other short stories that are like just single, like little short, tiny short ones. And then there is 2 stories at the end about Junji Ito's dog. So that's what's in that story collection, in case you're curious. Okay, so there's actually 3. So the other book I purchased was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesara. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. This is a YA slasher, basically. It's horror, clown based, obviously, given the name. This girl basically moves to this new town. The town's mascot is like this clown. I can't remember what his name is. And people dressed up as this clown starts murdering people. Pretty typical slasher, was pretty good. The reveal at the end though was like, the fuck? It just didn't make sense. Like the motives behind why these people were murdering like fucking hundreds of teenagers, well not hundreds, but like a shit ton of teenagers. Like what? I don't know. Anyways, that was the last one that I purchased. So I think that is all the books I need to talk about. I'm sorry this video was a little bit all over the place. I'm kind of like not really feeling in it right now. I kind of just want to go lay down in bed and watch movies, but I got shit to do, so. But anyways, that is all the books that I purchased or saved in the month of October. If you have read any of these and you think I should prioritize them, let me know. Like I said, out of these books, Legendborn will be the priority next because I need to read it for that reading challenge. So that one will be on the list soon. A fair few of these I've actually read. Like I read them in October because I purchased them so that way I could read them in October. So that's good. I'll be able to put a few of them over in here. Actually, that's a lie because none of the physical books are the ones I read. It was only audiobooks and ebooks. Damn. And like, if you can see that shelf, that is my TBR shelf. It is chocker. I don't know where I'm gonna fit these. And I've also got 3 books already that are gonna be in the haul for this month. Where am I gonna fit them? I'm gonna have to start leaving them on my TBR cart because I'm running out of room. And the funny thing is I'm meant to be downsizing, or not necessarily downsizing, but I'm meant to be slowing down in purchasing books because I'm moving. So, you know, the least amount of books I have, the easier it'll be to move, but I'm still buying books though. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you in my next one.